On April 15, 2025, China stunned the world by ordering its airlines to halt all new Boeing aircraft deliveries and purchases from American aerospace firms. This was no minor pause, it was a direct message from Beijing to Washington, escalating the ongoing US-China trade dispute. Boeing, America's largest exporter and a symbol of its industrial might, was suddenly cut off from its most important market. The news sent Boeing's stock tumbling and left dozens of jets, ready for Chinese airlines, stranded on tarmacs. Former President Trump quickly blamed China for reneging on a major deal, confirming the move's political undertones. The halt's impact rippled through the global aviation industry, threatening millions of American jobs tied to Boeing's vast supply chain. This wasn't just about one company, it signaled a new, more aggressive phase in US-China relations. For years, the two nations have balanced cooperation and competition. Now, China is wielding its economic power as a political weapon. By targeting Boeing, China aims to inflict maximum pain on a high-profile American firm, hoping to gain leverage in broader trade talks. The world is watching. Will the US retaliate or seek compromise? The fate of global trade and manufacturing may hinge on what happens next. For Boeing, the sudden loss of China as a customer puts its future and America's industrial leadership at risk. The move also raises questions for every US company operating in China. Is any business safe from becoming a bargaining chip? As the dust settles, the stakes for both countries and the global economy have never been higher. The next steps could redefine the rules of international business for years to come. China's Boeing ban is the latest blow in a long, bitter US-China trade war. Tensions escalated in early 2025 when the US, under President Trump, slapped 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, aiming to force trade concessions. China hit back with 125% tariffs on US imports, making cross-Pacific trade more expensive and unpredictable. The volatility left businesses on both sides scrambling, with no clear path forward. Now, China has shifted tactics, targeting Boeing, a crown jewel of American industry, instead of just imposing broad tariffs. The goal: create political pressure in the US by threatening jobs and economic stability. This is a high-stakes gamble, using Boeing as a pawn in a geopolitical chess match. The trade war has moved beyond tariffs to direct interference with billion-dollar business contracts. The message to American companies is clear: market access in China can vanish overnight for political reasons. This escalation threatens the foundations of international commerce, where contracts are supposed to be honored. The Boeing halt is a warning shot to every US firm. No one is immune from geopolitical risk. As the two superpowers dig in, the cost of conflict keeps rising. The world's largest economies are now further apart than ever. For global business, the era of predictable US-China trade may be over. The fallout is just beginning. Boeing isn't just an airplane maker, it's a pillar of the US economy and the nation's top exporter. Its high-tech jets bring in billions each year, supporting 1.6 million American jobs across a vast supply chain. These are skilled, well-paying jobs in factories and small businesses nationwide. When Boeing stumbles, the shockwaves hit workers and communities coast to coast. The timing couldn't be worse. Boeing is already reeling from $51 billion in losses since 2018, battered by safety crises and the pandemic. The company was just starting to recover, with deliveries ramping up, until China's halt threatened to plunge it back into crisis. Boeing's health is a matter of national pride and technological leadership. Its success signals America's ability to compete and innovate on the world stage. A weakened Boeing is more than an economic problem. It's a blow to US prestige and industrial strength. That's why the standoff with China is so critical. The stakes go far beyond one company. They touch the heart of America's economic security. The world is watching to see if Boeing can weather the storm. For Boeing, China isn't just another market, it's the key to its future. China's booming middle class and appetite for air travel have made it the world's largest market for new planes. Boeing projected China would need nearly 9,000 new jets over the next 20 years, 1 in 5 of all its global orders. The value of these deals runs into the trillions, making China irreplaceable for Boeing's growth. Losing access to this market is a catastrophic blow, not just a setback. Boeing has invested heavily in China, betting on decades of demand that now may never materialize. As China's aviation market surges ahead, Boeing risks being sidelined while rivals set the standards. The financial pain is immediate. Most of a plane's price is paid on delivery, and dozens of jets built for China now sit unsold, freezing hundreds of millions in cash. This strains Boeing's finances and limits its ability to invest in new projects. The halt also means Boeing loses influence in shaping the future of aviation in the world's most dynamic region. For Boeing, being shut out of China is a nightmare scenario. The company must now scramble to find new buyers, but no market can match China's scale. The loss is a wake-up call for all global manufacturers. This isn't Boeing's first trouble in China, but it's the most severe. Since the 2019 737 MAX crashes, Boeing was largely locked out of China, with authorities slow to recertify the jet. Political motives were clear. Safety concerns became bargaining chips in trade disputes. Orders from Chinese airlines collapsed, and only a trickle of deliveries resumed in 2024. Just as things seemed to improve, the April 2025 halt slammed the door shut again. Boeing's vulnerability to US-China politics has never been clearer. The company is a prime target for retaliation, and access to China is never guaranteed. For Boeing, every step forward in China has been met with new obstacles. Boeing's loss is a windfall for its rivals. Airbus, its European competitor, is poised to dominate China's booming aviation market. With Boeing sidelined, Chinese airlines will turn to Airbus for new planes, potentially for decades. Once airlines commit to Airbus, switching back is unlikely, even if Boeing returns. Airbus can now lock in long-term contracts and relationships, reshaping the industry's balance of power. Meanwhile, China's own COMAC is gaining ground. The C919 jet, a direct rival to Boeing's 737, already has a huge domestic order book. The government's move is a clear endorsement of COMAC, giving it a protected market to grow. While COMAC's production is still ramping up, this decision gives it time and guaranteed orders to mature. China's strategy is clear shift from buying planes to building them and challenge the global duopoly. The future of aviation may be decided in China. The fallout from China's decision will be felt everywhere, from factory floors to boardrooms. Over 1 million US jobs tied to Boeing are now at risk, with layoffs looming if production slows. Suppliers nationwide could be hit, threatening local economies. For American companies, the lesson is stark. Years of investment in China can vanish overnight. Many will rethink their dependence on the Chinese market and diversify supply chains. Chinese airlines, meanwhile, face fewer choices and may pay more as competition shrinks. Boeing must now hunt for new customers in India and Southeast Asia, but no market can replace China. The US government faces a tough choice: double down on tariffs or seek compromise to protect American industry. This standoff could mark a turning point in globalization, where national security trumps pure economics. The Boeing dispute is a symbol of this new era. The next moves by Washington, Beijing, and Boeing will shape global trade for years. The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher.